The legend behind Fields of Screams in Maize, Kansas. The Spurlock legend. The family from hell itself. The Spurlocks were not your typical family. In fact, the Spurlocks were considered as much of a cult as an actual family. Jebedia was a leader of the group, and most of the children were his. It is rumored that he preached polygamy and that he himself had multiple wives. Soon as after Jebedia's arrival, neighbors reported screams and wild laughter coming from the Spurlock farm in the early morning hours. Some people noticed that the crops the family planted were wild-looking and unkept. It was as if the fields were sick. Some even said that a strange smell was emanating from the place when the wind blew. To add to the suspicion, Wichita police were baffled by the disappearance of 3 people off the banks of the Arkansas River that summer. Supposedly, the police even questioned the Spurlocks about the disappearance, but they couldn't find any evidence linking them to the crime. Rumors started to circulate around the small town of Maize of witchcraft, cannibalism, and devil worship. The rumors sparked fear in the hearts of the locals and even led one minister to preach to his congregation that the devil is alive and well in Maize, Kansas. He is walking amongst us now. Parents even told their children to beware of where the fields are sick. It wasn't until the disappearance of a local boy by the name of Cyrus Smith that the town had had enough. Soon after his disappearance, his friends went to the police and told the authorities that they had dared Cyrus to sneak onto the Spurlock farm and steal something from Jeb's front porch to prove he had been there. Once again, the police questioned the suspicious family, but couldn't find anything to suggest foul play. When the town learned that no charges would be brought against the family, people were outraged. Most locals were convinced the Spurlock family was involved and demanded justice, one way or another. One night in early October, a small group of vigilantes stormed Jebedia's farm. When the men entered the cornfields, they were immediately at a disadvantage. The field consisted of paths and tunnels that twisted and turned, leaving the men confused and lost in the labyrinth of corn and weeds. Knowing of the invasion, Jeb and his kin stalked their prey until the time was right. The vigilantes were rushed and quickly overpowered. It was a massacre so horrible that it brought one of the investigating officers to tears. Years later in the retelling, the men had their heads chopped off with a variety of crude instruments. Their heads had been removed with chainsaws, their bodies stuffed with corn and other grasses. When police searched the premises, they found several deceased pigs, with their heads removed and replaced with the heads of the men sewn on the bodies.